I'm Miranda topping your Newsmax Now update. ISIS now urges lone wolf attacks around the world. The FBI sent a warning to law enforcement around the country to be on guard. ISIS, in both an audio message and in its English language magazine, calls on followers to launch attacks on soldiers, police, government officials, and media figures. Well, some scary moments aboard an American Airlines flight out of San Francisco. Take a look at this. Look at this cabin wall. You can see it started to come apart mid-flight. James Wilson captured that video.
It sounded like bowling balls were falling from the overhead bins, and the very last thing that happened was all the interior plastic panels insulation started ripping out from the sides of the aircraft in the same row, both sides and up on the top. So it was terrifying. We didn't know what was going on.
The pilot turned around after about an hour into the flight and returned to San Francisco. The airline says an air duct on the plane may have blown yesterday afternoon. No one on board was hurt. Well, a bit of a scare at Boston's Logan Airport with 5 travelers on the same plane showing what could have been Ebola symptoms. They all arrived together on an Emirates airline yesterday afternoon. Hazmat teams escorted them off the plane. Everyone else was held on board for about 3 hours before health officials gave the all clear, saying the 5 do not have Ebola. In Dallas, a prayer service for the nurse who came down with Ebola after treating Thomas Duncan, the man who died from the disease last week. Nina Pham is being held in isolation right now as investigators try to figure out how she was infected. She's also been given a transfusion from an Ebola survivor, Dr. Kent Brantley, and hopes that it will help. And a vote in the British Parliament on whether the UK should back statehood for Palestine.
The ayes to the right, 274. The noes to the left, 12.
Well, less than half of the members of Parliament took part in the symbolic vote. One official says the UK reserves the right to recognize Palestine when it is appropriate for the peace process. And look who's back in North Korea. After more than a month out of the public eye, Kim Jong-un has resurfaced. State media has broadcast new pictures of Kim smiling, but using a cane. No word on why he's been out of sight since early last month. Well, and lots of us have seen those Google cars outfitted with cameras for the street view on Google Maps. But what do you do when there's no street? Put the camera on a camel, of course. That's Rafia, a camel being used by Google to give a new view of the empty quarter on the Arabian Peninsula, the largest sand desert in the world.